This is the first take of our new podcast, Passion Project.
Love it.
We did some brainstorming after our last session together. And
Back in the living room.
Back in the living room, yeah. We're kind of thinking, what do we really want to focus on, and what do we really like? And man, I love passionate people. This is something that I want to focus on. I think that energy is what's so contagious, and what we want to capture with this is what are people passionate about, and why are they passionate about it? Connecting those dots for them. So that's kind of our goal. That's our mission. I'm going to redub this episode 1, the last one, Partner Model Podcast episode 1. Now we've got some actual formula to this, right?
Love it.
Kaizen, incremental improvement. We've been growing. We're getting there. And we've got a little formula here that we're going to run down that hopefully for all of our viewers out there,
right,
you're going to be able to get used to. You can get accustomed to this. There's sections you can expect from us. How about that? So if you like one segment, you know what I mean, you're going to get that segment again. So how much fun is that? Let's kick it off with our What's on Your Mind segment. Jerry.
What's on my mind?
What's on your mind, buddy?
Let's see. I would give a personal example, but the last week or so, I've been thinking a lot about optimism, and for me, industry-wise, optimism. I've been hearing a lot of chatter about people talking about rates coming down next year, Q1, and I guess it's because of all the business planning that I've been a part of, not only with my team, but some of the other leaders in the company, managers, and I'm hearing optimism about rates dropping, and something in the sixes. So it's just, for me, that kind of optimism is really a kind of a vaccine or a boost of adrenaline. I think that we all need after some long time paralysis.
Sure.
Right. And so for me right now, it's kind of been what's on my mind professionally today.
You hear all the time, hope is not a strategy.
Yeah.
And it sure as hell isn't. But you need hope.
Yeah.
You need optimism.
I love it.
It may not be a strategy, but it sure as heck will fuel you through some hard times. So.
Yep.
Hope is not a strategy. I feel like every time I hear it, it means just a little bit more. You know what I mean? I keep hearing it just slightly different context. And the first time I heard it, I'm like, ho hum. And the second time, I'm like, wait a second, there's something to that. The third time, I'm like, okay, wait, this is really an interesting diagnosis of what's happening out there.
Yeah.
People using hope as a strategy. Justin.
Yes.
What's on your mind, buddy?
Green bean casserole.
Oh?
Thanksgiving's
Yeah.
in a week.
No, you
Yes,
didn't.
it is. Yes,
love
it
it.
is.
So, no, I'm joking.
Fresh
So hungry
beans.
for that
Did
right now.
Did you add the bacon?
No, dude, I'm all canned. It is. It is the least gourmet thing, but it is my favorite dish. It brings me back to being a kid. I think that was actually one of the first dishes I volunteered to make for Thanksgiving. Back with my mom
Green bean casserole. It's one of my first dishes I ever made for Thanksgiving.
It's pretty
also.
easy. I do have a couple little dashes.
Oh yeah,
little magic dashes in there, but
I love the onions on top.
Yeah.
Too.
The crispy onions
man.
make
That's
the
where
dish.
it's at.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Canned, uncanned, I don't care. Crispy onions on top.
Yeah.
That's a requirement.
Yeah. But in all honesty, right now, as you both know, we're a few weeks out from opening our new restaurant.
Yeah.
So we're down to the wire. We are working on all the little details. We've got all the big stuff's done. Now it's all the finishes.
Yeah.
And the last mile in any journey, any race is the hardest mile.
Yeah.
And we're there. We're in the last mile right now. But it's also fun too. It's very interactive. Everything we're doing, every detail, it matters, but it's just a lot. So that's definitely on my mind. What about you, Nate? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I got one. I'm almost the antithesis of what Jerry just said, I hate to say. But I had an interaction, it was maybe 6 months ago now, but we had a little reunion from the Finance of America crew, our former company people. And one of the people in this meeting, I don't want to out them. I'm going to try not to out them as I say this. But they actually brought up, they were like, hey, so I'm just curious, who here was actually working hard at this job? Right. They straight up, I'm trying not to gender them at all. They go, yeah, I really only work like a couple hours a week. Like I didn't, and this person was I mean, if we looked at the workflow chart, they were like, you know what I mean? They were like a level above me. It was like interesting. And so, you know, as much as this year has been just freaking difficult and the negativity, and I'm going to bring it into, I'm positive that this past year and the growth that we've overcome is so positive for this industry.
100%.
That this has just been such a needed shedding of weight.
Yes.
That there are so many people that are still left just like in between whatever. That their responsibilities have all been delegated and they're not even managing those responsibilities anymore. You know what I mean? Beyond like showing up to a couple virtual meetings a week. So as much as I want the industry to cover, I want to see those lower rates. I want everyone just fall back into happy, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
There's a needed shedding. The people that have found themselves in middle management that are not doing literally anything, that are somehow like leaders in the industry. There's just a disconnect, and as I'm struggling through it, but I'm also so optimistic what happens in the next probably year, 2 years is what I'm thinking. When we actually get to the other side of some of this.
And I can't agree more with you, Nate. I mean, let's face it, 20 and 21, that wasn't reality in more ways than one in our industry. I mean, now I think what we're seeing is a little bit more, you know, with the correction, a little bit more normalcy in our industry. And it's people are adjusting and they're having to find more creative ways to earn their business and build relationships, and so I think if there's anything coming out or of where we've been at in the market right now, it's that people are learning what's important, and that's relationships.
Boom. Truly.
Each cycle I've been through, which now I think we're on the third real big upturn downturn, this industry gets stronger, it gets better. And that's kind of a natural progression. I think the stronger, more capable leaders will rise to the occasion. The stronger salespeople will outlast the weaker ones, the ones that are willing to do the work. The people with the good moral compass. You know, there was a time where there was some kind of sleaziness associated with our business, and there was kind of a used car salesman vibe. You know, especially in the early 2000s, and I think kind of shedding that skin, as you said, I think has really continued. That cycle continues to improve our quality, and I think there are some amazing people in this business, and it's becoming a really solid, and it's always been, but it's just a really solid industry of great people.
Yeah. Who still has motivation and who still has aspiration and who just is like, I can just sit here and hide. You know what I mean? If you still have aspiration in this industry, there's still so much room for you, limitless room for you. And if you want to sit in a spot and hide and say this is just fine, I think you're the shed.
Yep.
You're the shed that's coming.
Yep.
Got a little brutal on there. I didn't mean to be so harsh. Let's go into this. We have kind of an exciting thing coming up.
We do.
Business planning sessions.
Yes.
So tell me what's going on. We're doing some of these next week.
Yeah, we're it's actually awesome to do it with the large group, and one of the things I love about Movement is we have an in-house coaching curriculum. We have awesome coaches working with Kevin McGovern, who's our head of coaching. We put together a little curriculum for our channel, for our partner teams. We've got 86 people confirmed.
Wow.
Next week.
That's awesome.
To attend our business planning session. We're doing 2 sessions next week, but really just want to get everyone aligned with the positioning for the best opportunity for next year.
I'm excited for that.
It's end of the year, new year. It's kind of the cycle of things. The one thing about business planning that I've learned traditionally in the past is you sit down, you write a plan in December. You polish it up, you share it with somebody, and then that's it.
Yeah, it makes it. What comes to mind, Justin, is turning a new leaf, and that has such a positive I mean, I have a positive mental picture of what turning a new leaf means. New business plan, new goals, fresh ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. You know, and I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, again, I guess where I was going is that I think the challenge with some traditional business planning is, like I said, you open it, you open the book, you close the book, and you never revisit it. And I think one of the
fun
things,
exercise.
Yeah. One of the things I love about what we're putting in place is it's an ongoing thing. It's not something you do one time and then set it and forget it. It's constant. You're always tweaking it. Looking at 12 months seems kind of daunting. And I think, Jerry, one of the things you and I have always stuck to is the quarterly business plans. It's a little bit more frequent, a little bit more detailed in how we kind of approach that. I think it's the same expectation here is that we're going to be setting everyone up for 24, but really segmenting it out so that we are constantly working on it and improving it and tweaking it, because it can't be something you just do one time and not revisit.
Agreed.
Keith, you want to come across, buddy?
Yeah.
Come on, Dan.
Everyone, Keith Hobart's in the house. Welcome, Keith. Give me a little bit of I'm going to use a Justin word, soup to nuts. What are we doing in the business planning session?
Well, it starts really with review, right? You got to look backwards and kind of have a good idea before you can go forward. So looking at your data from this year, really simple formula. How much did you work and how much did you make?
Wow.
Okay.
And as it boils down, what is an hour of your time worth? What are you making during 1 hour?
Wow. I love that.
And if you can really figure that out, and then from there, look at ways you can improve efficiencies. Okay, where are you wasting your time? What are some of the time sucks that you're getting stuck in? And then of course, where are you having the most success? Okay, well that's obvious. Aha. If you're having a lot of success in one area, you should do more of that area. So it's not rocket science. There's no like secret formula on like how to be more productive. Sometimes you just gotta look at everything, and you gotta just have a clear vision, and then dissect it and make a plan and stick to that plan.
Yeah.
This is the hard truth though for everybody, is you got to do the work. Yeah. You can want it all you want, but you got to do the work.
Yeah. Cool. Man, that was actually a much more granular answer than I was expecting. That was actually so technical. That was awesome. It gives me like a freaking math formula over here. Like,
I know. And I remember the first time I did a business plan with Justin, he says, okay, now, so this is a static document. And my first thought was, what? Isn't a business plan? Isn't that just set in stone? It's scribed in stone for the quarter, and you can't change it. You got to stick to it.
Dynamic.
And I love that philosophy, because that's helped me out more than my previous thought of a business plan being something set in stone. So
there's no stone tablets here, buddy.
Yeah, no stone tablets.
all right, our next kind of section here: a day in the life. What do you do in your free time? And I have a personal. I have a personalism to share here. I love having the largest block possible of free time. If I can schedule my time so I do like all my work and then I'm like, boom, free time, baby. That's how I get anything done.
I love that.
If I have like something here and then 20 minutes and something here and 20 minutes, I will get nothing done all day. I will do nothing in any of these. By 20 minutes, I'll maybe open my programs and look at it, and then like nothing gets done. But if I can actually be like, all right, here's a 3-hour block, I can do anything with a 3-hour block.
Work zone, fun zone.
And I can do nothing with 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Are you guys? How do you guys? I feel like you're the exact opposite. I feel like you can do anything with 15 minutes, and I'm like, I can go to the bathroom.
I would say Justin's more that way than I am.
I don't necessarily like that, but it's out of necessity. I've learned to work in chunks. I do appreciate what you're saying though. Like having, when you're on, and when you can just get into go mode, you can get a lot of stuff done. You can really be productive that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, my free time can look like, just sitting quiet for a while, and kind of meditating, right?
Truly.
Or it can be, stuff around the house that needs to get done. I would consider my free time. And
that stuff makes me feel better, truly. If I can take that 20 minutes, sometimes I can go do the dishes, and that will make me feel better.
I'm with you, Nate. I mean, it's I admire those people that are able to. Yeah, I've got 15 minutes. So I'm going to take a power nap. What? No, I've got to have that block of time that I know it's going to be vacant.
I would say from a leisure perspective, though, like the activities I enjoy doing the most take up time.
Yeah.
So it's important to be able to work through those. My biggest love and passion leisurely is skiing.
Yeah.
Or snowboarding, I guess,
depending all day.
Depending on that, but it takes at least a full day. So, I've learned to do half day, little, but it's still. You're still getting, at least a good chunk of time in there. The fact that we live, an hour and a half from the mountain makes it easier, but not the worst.
Cool. All right, I got this other section here. Tools of the trades. We'll focus on what tools are we using to actually get us there. And I've got something to bring up here. They're just so relevant for mortgages right now because all of these salespeople, the ones that are hustling and they're trying to get that deal and opportunities come up to them. They're like, yes, this opportunity. And sometimes they just don't think really quickly, wait, this is mortgages and we have compliance and things that we have to do. And so, man, I had another one this week where someone messaged me, hey, I just signed a deal with this vendor. And I'm like, no, you did not sign a deal with that vendor. Please tell me you're not giving them all this money because they're not vetted. They're not an approved vendor. And so, then I have to send them the approved list. And I have to be like, can we get the money back in any way? How far are you, how much have you given this money to them? Because have you given a deposit? Have you given them all of it? Are you fully invested in this? Because, we at Movement, we have a list of approved vendors. And we have we have a process for you to get vendors approved. But getting vendors approved takes so much time and energy, and it takes a lot from that vendor to get them approved with Movement. So this is one of those struggles right now. Everyone wants to use that next tool. There's a lot of people in everyone's inbox offering them shiny objects and all these amazing leads. And
there's a lot of companies that prey on the mortgage industry.
Yes.
You ever heard of SOS?
No.
Shiny object syndrome?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I know
that's
a few
exactly
people like
what
that.
it is. But we have to vet these people because, man, I need to make sure that they're not selling their leads to anyone else. I need to make sure these are good leads. And then I need to make sure that we're not redlining neighborhoods or committing any infraction with these leads. So there's a lot of regulation around lead collection vendors. It's not the same as hiring someone to create social media assets for you. It's a different compliance perspective to come from. So that's my take on tools of the trade right now and what's going on. Justin,
yes,
you brought up a killer tool this morning that I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it's not a physical tool.
Yeah.
But it's as you know, we're in the people business.
Yes.
So part of our job, whether you're hiring someone in an interview, whether you're screening a customer for the first time, a referral partner, recruit, anything. There's a system called Ford, and yes, I do drive a Ford, but that's not what I'm talking about. But it's an acronym. It stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So it's 4 little categories, and there's it can get a little more granular than that, but to spare the granularity, it's really just a way to get to know somebody. So get to know them, ask questions about their family, really get to know them on a personal level, get to know occupation. What do they do for work? And obviously in our field, we probably know that if they're in our business, but really diving deeper. What do they do? What are their, how do they work?
You're right. All loan officers do it differently.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They do.
The third one is, I just talked about skiing, but recreation. What do you do for fun? When you're not working, where do you want to spend your time? And then lastly, and maybe the most important is dreams. What are you aspiring to do? Because at the end of the day, are you here because you want to collect a paycheck? Do you want to retire in 10 years? Do you want to own a bunch of real estate? Do you want to start a rental company? Do you want to own a restaurant? Do you want to own a sports franchise? Whatever. But, understanding that, then you kind of really get to know the inner workings of a person, and that helps you connect, and you find similarities, you find connection points, and just a great tool to kind of vet people out.
Family, occupation, recreation, dreams.
Ford.
Love it.
for
and
it.
I think it really kind of gives you some insights too in what someone's why is, and I love that.
All of those are why.
Yeah.
Those are all why related questions. Absolutely.
Thank you for that. That's awesome. Justin, where are you finding inspiration right now?
Whew. Okay, where am I finding inspiration right now? Well, that's an interesting question. I'm really inspired right now, and I feel like a broken record saying this, but again, I'm a people person, so it's people that are inspiring me, but more specifically, I just every day the fact that I get to work with the team I get to work with.
Yeah, you said
it.
You said it.
Is so cool. Like it I get off calls with our group here, with our level 10 call, and I always feel good after those calls. And it's the chemistry of everyone. It's everyone's bought in. We're all working together. Like it just feels good when you're like, it doesn't matter what we're doing. We can be solving the world's problems or fixing a clogged toilet. When you're working together with people and like everyone's passionate about it, like it just feels good. On the same token, and I know I threw this out there the other day, but my team that I get to work with outside of movement is
your whole team.
It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Like so inspiring, and like the times I get to spend with them, I walk away. I'm like, how did we get so lucky to have? It's just great people. And I just love it, and I feel like every day like just blessed the people I get to spend my life with. I get to do life with awesome people, and that inspires me.
Get a double dose of it.
You know what? I gotta hit you with the Justinism. That you do this really amazing thing when you have a project for somebody, and you just frame it in the best way that's gonna make them excited to do the project. And maybe you do this consciously. Maybe this is a literal technique you picked up, but you'll give me a call and you'll be like, hey, I got this project I think you're going to be so excited about. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, well, what is it? And you're going to be like, you're going to call 300 people every single day. And I'm like, well, I can't wait to do that. That sounds so exciting. You're right, that's perfect for me. That's literally not it. But you can make like, hey, you're going to read the phone book by yourself every day. And I'm going to be like, that does sound like fun and exciting. Yeah, okay, bro, I'm jumping into that.
If I do anything, it's totally subconsciously. I'm not trying to manipulate anybody. But no, I truly am. Like, if something excites me, if it lights the fire, if it fires up the sails, whatever, I'm into it. And I think that's kind of something you guys know about me. If I'm not into it, I'm not into it.
Yeah.
You can tell. I don't nail it in.
Yeah.
I can't fake it. I have a really tough time if something doesn't fit right. I can dance around it, but I'm not going to position it. So if I'm really truly excited about something, you're going to get the real deal.
Jerry, tell me about inspiration for you right now.
Justin took my thunder, man. I mean, I could have, it is about the team, and I was going to use our level 10 meetings on Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a fantastic way to get the week started.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just like getting caffeine, for the soul, right? And everyone's we're all working in the same direction too. It's not like anyone's stirring the pot in the wrong direction, and it's just those.
I am stirring the pot.
You're stirring the pot all the time, Nate. You're stirring the pot, but I think it's just all our collective little incremental wins coming together for our team. And by the end of our level 10 meeting, it's hard not to feel just jacked and going to the rest of the week. So I'm with Justin on that one. It's the team is where it's at.
I found a fun bit of inspiration this past week. I went to the Funko store.
Oh, awesome.
I went to the Funko store up in Everett. I love this place. I was getting a gift for my girlfriend at the time, but I had to get myself one also. And I realized that some of these Funko figures that I like, who do I want to get a Funko of?
I thought you said Bunko store.
Oh my God, no.
Funko.
Funko,
Gotcha.
the short little guys. The same figures that I want to get a Funko of, I want that Funko because they're so inspiring. That the little guys. So now I've got these little dudes watching me while I work. And if you're nerdy like me and watch anime, it's like Vegeta and Naruto. So it's this is your ninja way, and it's the never give up, keep fighting mentality. So it's some symbolism for me where I'm like, I'm like tired, don't want to do it anymore, and then I see Vegeta, and I'm like, better keep training, better keep going, go harder here. So yeah, that's my. I was surprised to find inspiration there, but I enjoyed it. All right, we're into our raving fan section. Justin, you got a raving fan for us?
I do. And I've actually been a raving fan since this moment I met this person. She has been an absolute beacon of light for me, for our industry, for our company. And actually, there was it was a few weeks ago. I was having a bad day. We've had a lot of tough days this year.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
we can all admit, but I just needed a cup of Sarah. Sarah Middleton, man, that lady, she just breeds passion and love.
Yeah, she does.
Actually, I have emojis in my phone for most people, and her emoji is just the big red heart because she's just all love.
Yeah,
and love that about Sarah. I love that I get to work with her. I don't talk to her every day. I used to talk a lot more, but we've been busy. But just getting any interaction with her, always it's chicken soup for the soul. She's a good one.
Sarah was so unbelievably warm to me before I ever joined this company even. And so then when I joined, it was so funny because you see her everywhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like she was so good to me, and I didn't even know who you were at the time, but you were like, you just extended so much grace to me and so much kindness. So yeah, that's a great call out.
It is.
Yeah, I've got a raving fan. Our chief marketing officer, Jake Failing, Jake is just such an inspiration. He's just such an inspiration. He's managing so much. We had a marketing call this morning where he literally just kind of rattled off all the different marketing projects. He gave us in this podcast a shout out, so we love that. And also,
Filming?
yeah, bro, it says it on the door. Walk through. You're good. Walk through.
The thing is, I listened to the conversation and I was like, no, that doesn't sound like Nate's talking about anything in particular at all.
Nate's just
I
so
thought you were just having a
natural.
conversation. I'm sorry, guys.
You're good. You're good,
We're
bro.
about out of time. You want to?
Yeah, we'll take a brief intermission,
Yeah, and then
let me
start
come
back
back
up
on
with
Jake when we get back. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
perfect little mission there. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, we'll be right back. Okay, I've got a raving fan. Maybe they already heard it. We are back, everyone, from our brief intermission. I've got a raving fan. Our chief marketing officer, Jake Failing. He's just managing so much, and it's not even that he's managing so much, it's the grace that he does it with, because he's not just managing it, but he's getting on all of these calls and talking about it and going through it, and he just does it so cohesively. He checks every box. This morning, he literally rattled off 15 to 20 different marketing projects. He just rattles them all off. He calls out some of the videos that I'm making. He calls out this podcast that we're doing. He's like, you've got Justin Coffee Hour going on. I'm like, and you're watching this. Thank you for the support. But then not just even the expertise to manage all these projects, but it's the hosting. It's that he's been on all of these different calls, and I just give him so much responsibility for getting everyone through this call, getting them through the event, recapping so it's actually helpful. And yeah, for me, it's just such an inspiration. The guy is such a good host and so good at managing so many different things, and has such a desire to do good by everybody that I just find so inspirational.
Yeah, Jake has a ton of talent.
Yeah,
but the biggest quality in Jake that I love most is he cares.
He cares.
He cares.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Their social video, their Halloween video is awesome. Love that one.
Yeah, and he's not afraid to dress up as Buzz Lightyear and look goofy and do the viral TikTok.
Yeah.
Let's go, buddy. You're doing
Love it.
all of that while managing the projects, while hosting. I love it. It's so cool.
You seem to be a good guy to just always have in the posse. You just know you're always gonna have a good time.
Yeah,
with
you're
Jake.
gonna need one of these guys too. You know what I mean? This guy is always helpful. Terry, you got a raving fan for us?
I do. My raving fan is Chris Rodriguez on the Moore team. I can't say enough about Chris. He's been extremely patient with me through the uploading of my database the last couple months. And he continually touches bases with me to clarify information and offers up to the extra steps to sort my database, to what my preferences are. Not just, he never gives me the, okay, this is how we do it, and this is the way it's going to be. He goes the extra mile, and
second mile leadership.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Second mile servant, attach it to a core value there.
Oh, I love that. love it. Yeah, and Chris has just been nothing but amazing to work with. We are in regular communication, and I can't say enough about the guy. He's really helped me, and everything he's doing to make my job easier, make our job easier, is going to go miles with my business going forward. So I'm grateful for him.
You touched on something real briefly there, but Chris helped you get on board with the Salesforce platform.
He did. Thanks, Nate. And I need to give a shout out to our CRM and Salesforce, our More platform. And this system's robust. I'm really excited. I'm all hands on deck with that right now. And I'm excited to train others and show others, some of the other leaders, how we're going to use that in our recruiting efforts. So like I said earlier, everything Chris is doing, all the upfront work is going to make my job a lot easier.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Tell me a little more granular. What's an immediate thing that we're going to use Salesforce for from your position? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really it's a method of accountability as much as it is communication. So I'll emphasize the communication piece actually, because when we are all on the same page and everything's accurate and the notes are accurate, timelines of a recruit, I'll use recruiting as an example, that's what I do. I'm able to assign a recruit to one of the leaders, and they can go inside more and see all the details that are current, relevant, and literally at their fingertips.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited about more. That's kind of a headline item, is that our whole division is getting onboarded on the 29th. Everyone will have access.
Yeah,
to
that's
this.
gonna be
Excited.
So leading up to that, obviously there's like a lot of work to do, but man, the More team has just been so crazy impressive. What's really exciting that's in More that the loan officers haven't been able to do before is build their own cadences. So this is basically, it's building out the whole journey for your own. Forever, loan officers hit me up, oh, what if we just change this one email in this journey? It's like, well, we're not changing that for everyone at the company because you want that specific nuance. So now, if you want that nuance, like, that's you. You can nuance away with whatever cadence journeys you want to build in there. And then additionally, because we're retaining so much servicing at this company, we're able to feed them all these leads back in More because we have all of this crazy data. So, yeah, wow, it's a wild product. I'm got a small amount of anxiety for the 29th when we actually onboard, but I am so stoked for January when we're actually like through all of the onboarding and we're just in the new year working off of this crazy platform.
100%.
Well, I think that's pretty much what we have written down today. Closing thoughts, sentiments, things on your mind right now. Yeah, anything else we want to touch on?
You know, I think in staying in the now and finishing out the fourth quarter strong here, I'm looking into 2024 as well, looking down the road, eyes up, down the road, and trying to stay focused with how we're going to win first quarter of 2024. But look, you know, I mean, our industry requires you also to keep your eye on what's today and what's relevant today. So for me, what's on my mind most of the times it's just finishing this quarter strong, the year strong, and then positioning myself to come out of the gate in 2024 with success. Good. So
there's a lot we can't control right now, and that's kind of scary, I think, for some. The next, you know, I think there's some fear about the kind of the next 90 days a little bit, because things are slowing down. Holidays kind of naturally slow things down. There's some good to that too, but like the reality is from a professional perspective, like there's a lot of unknowns going on right now. And I think for everyone in our business, this is a good opportunity to reflect, to take inventory of kind of what's working, what's not, and kind of to Jerry's point, leaning into how you can set yourself up for success. I think there's this natural cleansing, for lack of a better term, every year, because it's a new year. You kind of got to put the past in the past and set,
turn over a new leaf.
Yeah, turn over a new leaf. Whether that's true or not, I think whatever it takes, if you need to set yourself into some new habits and routines, I highly, this is the time to do it. There's a great book called Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
By James Clear. It's a great book. If you're looking to kind of kickstart some new habits, that's a good kind of motivational, inspirational book to kind of help with that. It's a good how-to, and it's very easy to apply. So I think that's, if I'm going to do a book review, and I think a lot of people have probably had that book on the radar. So it's not something new per se, but man, even if you read it one time, maybe reread it if you're looking to kind of
say the title.
Mm-hmm.
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits.
James Clear.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a great
fantastic read.
Yeah.
You know what I realized we skipped over here is that we didn't go into a career pivot moment. I think this is a fun section because I realized, man, there have been a bunch. I've got one. Justin, you have a career pivot moment?
I actually do.
Here, you got a
I do.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, let's do it.
For me, a career pivot moment was when I was a wholesale rep when I first got in the business, and I worked for a company called National City Mortgage, and I was an account executive who called on brokers for business. So for me, what I got the most out of doing that, and what I then knew was kind of one of my niches going forward in the industry was training people. And I remember showing up at my broker's offices, and they had loans they needed help with structuring. And so what I'd found, because I dove into the guidelines, got to know the mortgage lending guidelines intimately, conventional, FHA, VA, so on. And so I was there. When I showed up, they knew I was there to help structure their deals, assist them and show them how to run DU, and then package up the deals for the underwriters, and for that I earned getting the deals. So for me, it was the training aspect I really liked, and I knew I loved not only training people, but helping their business and freeing them up so they could do more business. So that was a career pivot moment that I had, and how I had translated that into my next career move, which was helping start a DBA, or a company, a brand.
Doing business as.
And what I learned was, in order to be successful, I had to be my own entrepreneur and self-starter. And I guess that's what I learned from being an account executive, is coming in to start, help build another company, and all of the things that needed to be done in order to help that company be successful. One of those was recruiting.
Yeah.
One of them was training.
Recruiting, you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Recruiting. Yeah. And so I learned a great deal from that experience as well. And I would say I've almost had two pivots, in my career. And the other pivot was coming to work for Justin and our team here. So, and this is just a great opportunity for me to build something again, right? And so I see this as kind of my legacy. And so I'm a stakeholder. I've got, skin in the game and all in. But for me, that was another pivot in my career.
For sure.
Awesome.
You got one, Justin?
Yeah, it's actually, I had to go back to the vault for this one, but I don't think it's funny to say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I never chose mortgage as when I was a kid. I don't know if any high school or college kid wants to be in the mortgage when they grow up. Unless maybe your parents are or something. But
we're trying to get them to. But
yeah,
no, I don't think so.
So I got into the business for probably every wrong reason. I had friends that were doing really well in it, and I was working like twice as much as they were, making half as much. So that's what kind of pulled me in. And I never really had a real connection until I did. And that was my really first pivot, I would say. And I say that because it changed everything for me and how I approached coming to work every day. I went from doing it out of necessity and paycheck to paycheck to absolutely doing it for a purpose. But it was a family that I helped, and it was a really like emotional situation. But this family was had aging parents, and it was actually their kids that I had a connection with, and they're like, hey, they knew I was in the mortgage business. Knew them from college. Said, hey, my parents are in some trouble. They're going to lose their house. And so I remember going through and working through their deal and restructuring all their finances, and they had back taxes. It was a mess. But at the end of the day, we were able to get them on we were able to pull everything in. And this is when there was again, I think lending has changed, but this is when there was subprime and non-QM, but this was actually this is one of those valuable scenarios where the subprime loan like changed this family's
Saved
life.
their life, yeah.
But we were able to restructure all their debts, all their taxes, get their house paid off, drop their payment down, their monthly outgoing payment by like $1,000, and allow them to live in their house. And I remember this is the moment they were in the office, and they were signing their loan documents, and they were in tears. They were like literally in tears because they thought they had no option left. They were thinking of the worst scenario, and everyone's hugging and crying after this thing, and I'm like, holy shit, this is a really we're doing a lot more than just selling a home loan or something. So that changed everything for me, and I think just having that in my heart, like realizing, okay, this is a really cool industry. This is something special.
Nice. Okay, I got a career pivot for you guys. And Justin, you were party to this pivot. So this is a couple companies back. We're working for a DBA, and I don't remember exactly what triggered this email, but I'm curious to hear what you have to say about it, or if you even remember it. But I felt like I was getting looked over for some opportunity or something, and I just sent an email to you and to the two people that were really running the DBA to be like, hey, like, I am a producer and I am here to produce for you. And just if you see an opportunity for someone to produce, like, I am here to produce. Like, tell me how to be more valuable to you. Like, if there's an opportunity, I want to see it. And so I don't attribute this exactly to that email, but I did move to the parent company of that DBA like several months after that. So it was, as much as it was me telling them, hey, please keep an eye for opportunities, it was me turning that check in my head that says, you know what, Nate, you're ready for a next level opportunity here. You're not stuck to this. And part of the reason why I bring this up is because I've got a buddy right now that he's really hoping for a promotion at work. And I ask him, I'm like, well, do they know that you want that promotion? Have you told them I want this promotion? And he goes, well, he's like, yeah, well, they know. No. And it's like, well, the way you're saying that, they don't know. I know they don't know because you haven't told them. And what you think as an employee is you're like, man, I'm showing up every day, I'm working really hard, knocking my things out, promotion. But to managers and to business owners, like, that translation doesn't work the same way. You have, like, if they see you coming in and working every day, they're like, wow, that person's really thriving in that world. Don't want to change that up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the reality is, like, you have to voice into the world, like, I want this, and you have to tell them. And then they're going to give you that one more extra thought that might get you that opportunity. So, just the pivot for me is just don't be afraid to say, like, hey, that opportunity, that's me. Tell me how to get there. And whether you get that one or not, it's just about putting it into the universe that you're here for another opportunity.
Self-talk,
yeah.
Love it.
Assume nothing. If you want to win big, you got to play big.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta put it out there. You got to put it out there. No one's gonna read your mind. State what you want. Yeah. Make it known. I
Raise
love that.
Your hand.
And actually, Nate, I know. I recall.
You do remember.
I do.
Yeah.
But it came at no surprise. We had previous discussions, and you're like, I'm worth more than this. I remember you gave me the analogy about Jimmy John's, and you're like, dude,
why am I making less than Jimmy John's? Like, I think I'm working. Like,
I think I'm worth something. But you are. You value you set the value for yourself.
Yeah.
You really do. People that undervalue themselves are going to get overlooked. People that put value into themselves are gonna have opportunities and are gonna see things and again, can't assume anything.
Can't assume anything.
You got to put it out there.
Yeah. Killer. Well, I think on that note, Kaizen, incremental improvements. I'd say this was a drastically improved session from the last time, and I think we're just going to keep making these improvements. This is Passion Project podcast brackets. I don't know.
Numero uno
in the book. So yeah, thanks team.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you guys.
Good, yeah.
It's awesome.